On April 2026, an American F-15 fighter jet was flying at a very low altitude over Iran's Khuzestan province, aiming to attack a missile attack on a very important energy hub in Iran. At that moment, there were two people on the plane, a pilot and a weapons officer whose job was to detect the location where the missile would be attacked. But the situation changed in an instant. According to Iranian media reports, Iran's Majid air defense system detected the F-15 fighter jet through its infrared and heat detection systems. It immediately fired missiles at the jet. In an instant, Iran's surface-to-air missile hit the American fighter jet. The F-15 was destroyed in midair. But before that, the two crew members inside the jet ejected their seats. And now the two of them started descending with parachutes. This was a place where danger was waiting for them at every step. Iran's Revolutionary Guards were desperate to find these two. On the other hand, America also wanted to bring these two pilots back at any cost. And then America launched the biggest search and rescue operation in its history. The way the American soldiers entered enemy territory and brought back their two pilots would be a match for any Hollywood movie. But the question is, how did America complete their rescue mission by entering Iran in a mountainous area where it is almost impossible to land a helicopter? And let me tell you, the CIA was backing this entire mission from behind. The biggest question that comes to mind is how the pilots hid inside Iran for 24 to 48 hours, avoiding the eyes of the Iranians. However, in this incident, Iran is claiming that during this rescue mission, they destroyed two American Black Hawk helicopters and two aircraft. They have even published videos of those destroyed aircraft, and they are presenting this as their victory. So the question is, what is the truth of this? In which direction can this rescue mission turn this war? So, I am with you, Riyasat, and you are watching Wonder Magic. Today we will talk about the rescue mission of the F-15 fighter jet. The video is going to be very interesting, so definitely watch it till the end. And give it a like at the beginning. But one more thing here I will tell you, the full details of this mission have not been officially announced by either America or Iran. So I have tried to present all the publicly available information in this video to you so that you can understand the whole thing very well. So let's start. The American F-Eagle Strike Fighter jet, which has been in service with the U.S. Air Force since 1988. This aircraft is about 19 meters long and 13 meters wide and about 1.5 meters high. It is a very powerful American fighter jet. Its maximum speed is about 3,000 kilometers per hour. Even this fighter jet can climb to an altitude of 19,000 meters. And its range is about 5,000 kilometers, which can attack any place in the Middle East once it flies. But even though it is such a powerful fighter jet, this fighter jet sometimes malfunctions. When I did some research, I found such an incident. In 2011, when American soldiers attacked Libya, an F-15 fighter jet had a mechanical problem. Two American pilots ejected their seats in an emergency, and later, the United States conducted a rescue operation inside Libya and rescued the two pilots. But the recent rescue mission in Iran was very challenging for America. In April, Iran's air defense system destroyed this F-15 fighter jet. At that moment, both airmen inside the jet ejected their seats. The American military claims that they rescued their pilot from Iran that day, but the search for the second airman was still going on. But here comes a big question. If two airmen ejected their seats at the same time, then they should have landed in the same place. So how did America find one of their airmen in the first place? Let's explain this a little. When a fighter jet is flying in the sky, especially when a missile is locked on it, the fighter jet flies at its maximum speed, so that they can get out of the range of any incoming missile. As a result, the speed of the jet at that time is about 1 to 2,000 kilometers per hour. Once the missile is locked, the pilot realizes that they can't save the jet anymore. They immediately eject their seats. However, the ejection process is very scary. Once the ejection starts, the crew, along with the seat of the fighter jet, immediately comes out of the jet at a high speed. This high speed creates a lot of pressure on the pilot's body, which is technically called G-force. A G-force means that you feel your current body weight. But when a seat is ejected from a fighter jet, a pilot's body experiences a pressure of 15 to 20 G-force for a few milliseconds. This means that if you weigh 80 kilograms, then when you eject your seat from the jet, you will feel your weight of 1,200 to 1,500 kilograms. This pressure often breaks the pilot's spine. The ribs of the chest are broken, and in many cases, the pilot also dies. As a result, you can understand that when a pilot ejects his seat and lands, most likely the pilot is injured. So according to the report of an American military source, when the seat is ejected from this aircraft, first, the weapons officer sitting in the back seat comes out. Then the pilot ejects his seat, and there is a gap of a few seconds between the ejections of these two airmen. As a result, it is not certain that both of them will land in the same place. Now, when the pilot comes out with his seat, a parachute opens from this seat. So, due to the speed of the fighter jet and the wind speed, one crew can land at least 10 kilometers away from the other. So, we come back to the topic. In the history of the last 20 years, this was the first American fighter jet that was destroyed by the enemy. As a result, it was a huge embarrassment for America. On top of that, if Iran had captured those two airmen, then Iran would have had tougher negotiations with America in this war. Iran would have even extracted a lot of sensitive information from those two. As a result, it was very important for both America and Iran to find the airmen. First, the Iranian government announced a $60,000 reward for information on their official news channel for finding the airmen. On the other hand, the American intelligence agency, the CIA, launched a huge rescue mission. This has not been confirmed yet, but many believe that the CIA took the help of agents inside Iran for this task. On the other hand, those two airmen whose positions were in danger were injured from seat ejection during World War II when the American Air Force was bombing Germany and Japan. The Air Force has a rule in place called SARE, whose full form is Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. If an airman has to land in enemy territory in an emergency, they have to follow this rule. First, they have to roll up the parachute they have and hide it somewhere. Then they have to open that seat. Inside it, they have to keep supplies, food, a medical kit, and even a folding rifle to survive for 7 days in any weather. And then the main task of those pilots is to immediately escape from that area, hide themselves. If he is caught, release himself and escape again. And as soon as possible, go to a high ground and send his location to the American military via beacon signal. The same day the fighter jet crashed, the American military launched a huge rescue mission inside Iran. And for this mission, Donald Trump diverted resources and rescue missions from the rest of Iran. Several dozen fighter jets and helicopters were sent several hundred kilometers inside Iran's borders. Most of this mission was conducted in the dark of night. Because in the dark of night, the American military becomes more powerful. On the other hand, the Iranian government announced a reward for finding those airmen, and various nomadic groups in Iran went out to find these airmen. These nomadic groups are livestock keepers. That's why they have weapons. So the moment the American helicopters and aircraft entered the region to rescue the two, that's when the No-Americans started shooting at the American helicopters and aircraft, several video clips of which have come to light. However, the details of what exactly happened have not yet come to light. The American team rescued their pilot on the first day. But there was still an airman hiding somewhere in this mountainous area of Iran. The Iranian IRGC was desperate to capture him. In the meantime, the CIA somehow spread a news through some sources that they had also rescued the second person. They did this so that the IRGC would slow down their search mission so that the American team could get a little more time. And during this time, the second airman climbed to about 7,000 feet on the mountain and sent his location to America through the beacon signal he had, which the CIA sent directly to the American military headquarters Pentagon. And finally, after 48 hours, this second airman was also rescued. So the most shocking thing is that where the rescue was done was a mountainous area. Even you can see on the map how uneven the terrains of this place are. On one hand, there was the geographical challenge, and on the other hand, there was the risk of Iranian missile attack. In this rescue mission, America destroyed its own 2 Black Hawk helicopters and 2 C-130 aircraft by bombing them, so that none of their technology would reach Iran. But Iran claims that they destroyed these aircraft. Look, all in all, this rescue mission is going to be a big lesson for the militaries around the world. In an active war zone, it is possible to conduct a rescue mission hundreds of kilometers inside the enemy border, through which the American military has created a benchmark. But here comes a big question. Donald Trump has been claiming for some time that the American Air Force has completely captured Iranian airspace. They have destroyed Iran's air defense system. So how was it possible for the F-15 fighter jet to be shot down? So is Trump lying directly to the people of the country? And not only this one fighter jet on the morning of April 5th, 2026, the Iranian government claimed to have destroyed another fighter jet in the Persian Gulf, about which there has been no confirmation or denial from the U.S. side so far. And one thing is clear, that no matter how much Trump claims that they have destroyed their air defense system by launching missiles at Iran, it is still not completely true. And as a result of this whole incident, geopolitical experts are also having some fears. In this whole incident, both America and Iran have declared their victory. Iran's perspective is that they first destroyed the American F-15 fighter jet. Then they destroyed 2 Black Hawk helicopters and 2 separate aircraft. As a result, they are still capable of continuing this war. On the other hand, America's perspective is that they have conducted a huge military operation inside Iran. As a result, many people think that this time, America may try to send their ground soldiers inside Iran. What do you think? Will this war be as long as the Russia-Ukraine war? Be sure to share your opinion in the comment box. Just like America rescued these 2 airmen in Iran, in the same way, they killed the mastermind of 9/11 in Abbottabad, Pakistan. This mission was also very challenging for America. Watch this video to know the details about this mission. So see you in the next video. Until then, stay well, stay healthy. And I was Riyasat with you.